Yeah, no, I'm glad we were 2 of 12 from 3 instead of 1 of 12. We didn't shoot it particularly well, but I thought the guys played a real good game against Miami. And then we talked about, I got a text from my dad, and he just simply said, lace them up and do it again. And, you have a tendency sometimes to make this bigger than it is when you come in here because it's an unbelievable atmosphere. You grow up watching it. You know how talented their team is, Coach K, all of that. But we just said, be laser focused to start and play our game. Get it to our kind of game if we can and battle. And because Kihei's the only guy who played, and I thought the guys did that. And, perhaps Duke was flat. They're coming off a big game. I don't know, but I think we certainly had a real solid game, and we're just trying to continue to improve and got a lift from everyone.
Jaden's defense on Bonker, what did you think of that matchup, and particularly how he played?
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, we said no one guy is going to shut down. It's us versus those guys. And, Jaden's been coming. He's sliding well. And obviously he's strong himself, and so we just tried to, give as much help as we could and challenge him to not give him open looks. There were some breakdowns had we lost this game, and certainly could have. That would have really frustrated us. But for the most part, we made them earn their looks. And Jaden, he spread out and, again, made him work for his looks, whether a few drives, shots, and all that stuff. And, again, he's so talented, you can see that. But again, the game doesn't change. You make them shoot contested shots, and you work to get good shots and win the majority of those battles, and you can be successful.
Tony, originally you had Kihei inbounding the ball there underneath, and then when he couldn't get it in bounds and he called timeout, you changed to Reese.
Yeah.
What led you to A, to do that, and B, what did you draw up once you decided to have Reese in?
Yeah, they put Mark on the ball, and that's tough for anybody. And we weren't sure, we had a zone call and a man call. And the one thing, I told you guys this before, underneath out of bounds, Coach Williford, our associate head coach, he's our underneath out of bounds coach. So I learned that a long time ago when I started. When there's an underneath out of bounds, it's a way to give your coaches ownership, and then it's something that, had we lost, it would have been his fault, not mine. So, no, I'm just kidding. No, but it just, he studies the other team, and that's kind of what he specializes in, among other things. So he drew it up. We called the timeout. He gave him 2 actions. And, of course, we talk about stuff, but then he changed it. And it was a good action, and then it kind of broke. But then, obviously for Reese to get that shot at the end and just have the composure to knock it down a la Syracuse in the ACC tournament. So that was Coach Williford, and it was just changing. Reese is a little bigger and obviously trying to get a clean look. And I can't quite remember exactly how it happened. I don't know if it was right off the play, but it was an attack and a play. And our guys kept their composure. You got 7 seconds, and you don't have to let it fly right away. And so that was good.
Take one here and then to the left.
Tony, the Beekman misses. Jeremy Roach gets the rebound. Beekman kind of picks his pocket there. Duke had the building had gotten loud at that point, and there was some momentum there. Did you get the sense that created sort of an opening for your guys to kind of regroup and take control there?
Yeah, and he missed the free throw. We were going up 1, but that fired me up. It's such an intense game back and forth, and you get so emotional and you lose your mind. You're yelling at people. Say, you think everything's a foul when it's not. It's just kind of part of the game. And for Reese to have that, he has gifted instincts, or he's gifted with his hands and his anticipation, and to just dart back and get that and make that play, that was huge for us. And then it came down to, getting stops, getting tough rebounds. And, it was just, I guess this was one of those games as it tightened up, whoever had the ball last probably was, going to win.
I want to ask a question about toughness. You had a great night on the offensive glass in the first half. Duke had a great night against Carolina, but you got 3 or 4 putbacks in the first half. I think you're still just sending 2 guys to the boards, aren't you? So talk about the role of toughness in getting rebounds, and then at the end of the game, Reese's steal and putback, and then Theo John had a great rebound in traffic. It looked like the game was over, and he was tied up, and that was your ball. Talk about toughness there.
Yeah, the first half definitely we got on the glass. They kind of got after us in the second half on the glass, but you can't play the game without a level of physicality and toughness, or we just talk about being in good position, but at times you got to stick your nose in there, and Poppy is physical for us. Francisco, I was glad to see Caden. You can just see as his strength comes, he'll get better, but the game comes down to making plays. When you go against competition like Duke and the good teams, and you have to be able to make plays. Plays are made in all different ways. You know, the rebounds, the steals, and of course everybody thinks it's just the shots or coming up with stops, and that's a physical and certainly a mental toughness, but there's just no other way.
Okay, take one in right there to the left.
I want to start off. I wanted to follow up on what you were saying about the game winner. And I know you said Williford drew it up. Was that because after they denied the first, you had to take a timeout after trying the first one? Did you switch to something to counter the switch everything?
Well, we kind of had a zone underneath out of bounds and a man, and then we said, I think they're going to go man. So when we couldn't get in, called the timeout. And then Coach Wilford drew up a man-to-man play. And again, I think we got it. And then was it Armand who made the kick past him, or was it Kihei? I can't remember. It was just sort of it wasn't a broken play. It was just we didn't have a shot, touch the paint, kick, and the guys made the play. Coach drew up a good thing, and then the guys made the play out of it when we didn't get the clean look.
Tony, you talked about being laser focused. 5 turnovers, 20-2 differential in points off turnovers, and 52 points in the paint. Is that what you mean when you say laser focused? Just being efficient, taking care of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, we've had so many close games here that have come down to last-second plays, last possessions, bounces, different things. But the one thing I know, and especially Jeff asked us not being in here, there's a tendency to sometimes get overwhelmed until the first media timeout. They just the crowd, the intensity, and all that, and that's where we just said it's going to be important to start well with that kind of focus. It was more of a message of start that way, and then from that point you got to play to win. You can't play not to lose. And the ability to stay in there and just again, just keep battling. I mean, it wasn't anything remarkable, but I thought our guys, there's chances where the crowd got going and they could have yielded, and then they decided nope, and we made some big plays, big stops, and a lot of mistakes both ways. But hopefully we grew up in this game and certainly got a lot more left.
Got time for a couple more. Take one here, Mike.
Cody, you mentioned the emotion and the intensity. There was a moment where the benches had the issue, and then I saw you and Coach K come together at the scorer's table. What was going on there, and what did you two guys kind of want to get at?
It's just the heat of the battle. Nothing. Coach has been so good to me over the years, and I have the utmost respect for Coach K. It was something with the bench, not Coach K or myself. It was just something with the bench, and half the time no one knows who's saying what to who, and you just, it's everybody gets their adrenaline going, and it's just stupid, really. So, but I was mad because it was 2 technicals, and then that was one sooner when they were in the bonus, and I let one of my staff members know. That's where I said this shouldn't be a bonus situation, but because we lost our composure, I said I get the technicals, not you guys, and I was stupid to say it, but it happened. But again, it was just a misunderstanding. Heat of battle.
Yeah, Tony, this is not the first time Reese has hit a game winner like this. The last time he also had a kind of struggle of a game, and then this game he had 4 fouls and he battled that for most of the half. Just what is it about him that, can make him apt for these big moments?
Yeah, right. He's a year and 2/3 or whatever we are into his college career, and he's just getting better and more comfortable, and he's so important for us. And that's why when he got his 4th foul, that was troubling for us. But the guys held in there. But his ability to handle the ball, I thought he made some nice drives at the end and, didn't quite get the finishes. But he has a knack defensively. He impacts the game without always being able to, knock down the consistent 3 ball. As that continues to improve, that's going to open up another avenue. And again, he hit the big one, but his ability to slash, find it, and he sees things, and he has the natural instincts that you want. And he's a very good defender. On the ball, he's down, and he's been playing well that way. So I love how he can impact the game in different ways than just scoring.
Last one, Jeff.
A.J. Griffin had 27 points against North Carolina on Saturday. He had 2 today. What was your kind of defensive approach on him coming into the game?
Look, they're young. I mean, guys, you can be old, young, it's up and down, and you keep battling. We just tried to simply say they have to earn. Every chance we get, don't give them breakaway layups, take care of the ball, get your defense set, and try to make them shoot as many contested shots, jam the lane. And again, they're so good when you break down, they make you pay. But it was just contested shots and outlast. That's what you have to do, I think, in these settings.
Thanks, Coach. Well,